What is up, my Batrican family? How you doing? Today we're at a place called the Graue Mill building. It's like a museum now, and it was built in the 1800s. But they got some really cool stuff. So we started from the top. We're gonna work our way down to the bottom, to the basement, and let's check it out. So cool, look at that top. That top looks cool. How they actually were back in the day. Look how small that bed is. That's for a kid, right?
It's for kids.
And I'm also with my wife.
Hello.
There's some literature. And this is where we're at. That's how it looked back in the day. There you go. That's cool. Look at the small dresser. It looked like a toy. Right?
Oh, it is.
It is the toy?
It's a toy.
Oh. I thought it was actually the actual stuff for the little kids. Look at that. Piano. That's kind of cool. This is back in the 1800s.
Then this one turns real fast. You put your roll up here and you draw it out this way, and it spins, falls off that plate. That's where it's supposed to be.
Even the lights look pretty old.
Spin it again, and then you walk across it and it lines it up. You want to do that?
You want to give back to her, or you want to hang on to it? You can hang on to it?
Yes.
Thank you. Can you tell her thank
Wow.
you? It is so
Get
fluffy.
the information off that.
So this one still has a separate step for
See, this is the next machine here.
lining it up. But it's called the walking wheel because you walk around in a circle all day long when you come up.
What is this? Like a store or something? Oh, the general store.
Notice this right there, those steep lines around this right. One time it just turns the spool on, and the other time it turns this which part. It's called the flush. Well, the fact that the spool and the wire
Look at that. That light looks cool.
means you can spin it and light it up. They're all the same step. So you start it off with your hands, keep it going with your feet on your hands, so free to draw it out and put it in. And you can plug it up.
Back in the day, that was easy life for them.
Oh, not really, because they had to do everything by hand. That machine right there, that's to cut the wrappers for the tobaccos.
Okay.
That thing over there, that's what they used to clean the rugs with. It was a rug whacker.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I've seen that
They
before.
hang them and then.
Yeah.
And then that was the coffee grinder right there.
That right there?
Yeah.
Yeah. You got that big wheel. Isn't that where they do the clothes?
Yeah, the weaving.
Yeah.
people
What is that?
at the other. What's it doing in the kitchen, really?
What it looked like.
That's the general store. That's cool. Wow, that is cool. That's a bathtub?
Yes, that's the bathtub. Everybody in the family would take a bath in that bathtub one after another.
Wow.
Often they use the same water and just add a little hot to keep it going. Are you interested in the spinning demonstration? Or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, about 3/4 of the population lived on farms at the time the mill was operating. And if they had sheep in the spring, they'd shear them with shears that looked like that. They kept them very sharp using the grinding wheel that you see on the second floor. There's a blacksmith shop set up and it has a grinding wheel. And then they bring the wool into the house, and when it first comes off of the sheep, it looks like this. And it's got, it comes in little clumps called locks, and they're curly. That's called the crimp. And you can't see it, but if you had a microscope, you could see each of these little fibers has scales going up and down it. So the crimp and the scales help the fibers grab onto each other, and that makes wool a very good yarn for spinning, or fiber for spinning. To process it further, you use these brushes. These are called wool cards. And you brush it like you're doing the dog brush now. Part of the carding process is to take out little pieces of grass and dirt and prickers and stuff like that that are in the wool. That makes carding a pretty time-consuming process that everybody in the family got involved with. Now, the reason these brushes are called wool cards is it's got nothing to do with playing cards. It's because the Latin word for thistle is cardus. Girls, when they got to be about 9 years old, would learn to spin, and they would learn on this tool. This is called a drop spindle. And it's a little easier to control than the spinning wheel, so that's why they would learn on it. And I didn't do a very good job of this, but it's good enough to give you an idea of what. Okay, so it's like playing with the top. You spin that around, and then while it's turning, your hands up here can pull on the wool. This is called drawing it out. And you pull it till it gets to be nice and thin like you want your yarn to be. This spinning wheel, this was the most popular design when the mill was operating. It's called the Saxony wheel. And I am just continually amazed at the ingenuity of whoever invented it. The drive band goes 2 times around the drive wheel here. One of the times it turns this little spool in the middle, and the other time it turns this whole wishbone shaped thing on the edge that is called the flyer. Well, the fact that the spool and the flyer can turn at different speeds means that you can spin it and wind it up all in the same step. So, let me get my roll out here. So, you start this out with your hands and then keep it going with your feet. And then your hands are free to feed in this yarn. So, just keep it going like this. And the only time you have to stop is every once in a while you'll move this yarn from one of the little hooks to another so it doesn't bunch up in the same spot along the spool. And so you can, it turns pretty fast, so you can really make some headway doing this. Now, there weren't many possibilities for entertainment when the mill was operating. Not just that there weren't computers and video games, but that Wasn't
Right.
television, not even radio.
Yeah.
And so very often the husband would read to the family while the mother and the older daughter
Oh, okay.
spinning in the evening. Even so, it was very hard for a married woman to satisfy the needs for spun fibers for a whole family. Yeah, after you have filled up the spool, then you need to take it off of the spinning wheel and you put it over onto a machine like this. This one is called click reel, and it helps you keep track of how much you've spun. When you're ready to do that, you would take these drive bands off so the spool would turn freely, and then you bring the end of the yarn over and attach it to this machine. And you turn this around to wind it onto this spool and wind it off of this spinning wheel. And it helps you keep track of how much you've done, because every time you turn it around, it's about 2 yards.
Okay.
And when you turn it around 10 times, it'll make a noise, which you'll hear in just a minute. There it is. And so if you count between the clicks, that's 20 yards
Okay.
between each click.
Okay.
Wow, look at that. That is so cool. That's really traveling in time.
So on this floor, we have things that would have been located in the barn. The wagon and the sleigh, the farm implements, things for caring for animals. It may surprise you to see the loom here, but looms often were kept in the barn. It's a big piece of machinery, and their houses were small, so they didn't want to take up that much floor space in the house. Also, weaving is just a part-time job. Where it takes 5 to 7 days of spinner working to keep a weaver busy for one day.
Oh, wow.
So, and both men and women participated in weaving, whereas spinning was totally the women's side of the family.
Okay.
And the last reason, maybe the most important, is that the atmosphere in the barn was better for weaving, because in the house you build a fire and it makes the air very dry. Well, these threads that go from the front to the back are under quite a bit of tension. If they get too dry, they tend to snap, and that's a big problem when you're weaving. So the hardest part of weaving is setting up the loom. It's called dressing the loom. And so you have to start with some threads. Sometimes they come on spools like these. And there's a spool rack here that you could put all the spools on to wind them around this beam of the loom. And so that's the kind of nerve-wracking part. But after that, you're kind of home free. The rest of it goes reasonably quickly. You tie the threads onto this bar, which will eventually wind around this beam called the cloth beam, because that's where the cloth winds up. And then there are foot pedals called treadles that you use to operate the loom. If you put one treadle down, one of the harnesses goes up, the other one stays down. And when you step on the other treadle, they change. And then it makes a little triangle area there called the shed. And this is the shuttle. It's got weft thread on it. The ones going from front to back are called the warp. And so you put the shuttle through the shed, and you pull it till it's snug but not real tight. You angle it a little bit so there'll be enough thread to go over and under. And then you beat it with the beater. And then you step on the other treadle, that's called changing the shed. And then the warp threads whir like that, and when you change the shed, they go like that, and they lock it in place.
Gotcha.
Oh.
And the itinerant weaver would come with a pattern book of hundreds of weaves that he could know how to make.
Okay.
And then the family would bring him the thread that they had spun and pick out the pattern that they liked from his pattern book. He would live with them and weave their yarn until he had that done, and then move to the next farm and do it for them.
Okay.
So that was the profession.
That's
Beautiful.
awesome.
Yeah.
Wow, look at the tools.
family station wagon back.
Yeah.
Those iron weights are what they use to tie the horses down when they park. So they
Oh, okay. Oh, I see it. Yeah, those iron weights down there. Oh, it's right there. 20 pounds. Wow. Blacksmith. And all the tools. All the tools that the blacksmith. That gotta be a shoemaker. Oops. These are the tools. That is so cool. Leathers. That's awesome right there. Oh, that is so cool. Just to see how they used to live back in the day. I don't think they had those tables back in the day. Wow. Must be the washing machine, right?
Yeah, I had one of those.
Yeah, I remember those. Make me feel old now. I bet you
I used to try to make music.
Yeah. I bet you back in the day, if these people were still alive today, they'd probably say we're lazy.
Oh.
Because we have machines working for us.
Professional hunters, slave hunters, who earned their living by capturing runaway slaves.
Yes.
To, if you
these are
saw in the
actual stuff that you
basement,
can buy.
we showed a copy of a wanted poster
Yes.
for a runaway slave where the
You can buy
reward
these.
was $200.
That's big
Cinnamon
money.
apple jelly.
That's
Ooh, that
big
sounds good.
because the average farmhand earned $50 a year.
Right. That's like 4 times their salary.
4 times your salary for a year of work. So it was very profitable to turn a slave in. Friedrich Graue, we can't document that he was a station master on the Underground Railroad.
The basement.
Taxes as a loose term because we can't own all of the income there, but we allowed the peasants to
Try to.
there is only one right that the peasant had that a slave didn't have. And that was that it was illegal for a noble to kill a peasant. A slave could be killed, the other could kill a slave. Yet under the current system,
Music sheets.
This is so sad.
Huh?
This is sad.
Yeah.
Selling people. It's so sad that this is part of our history. $200 reward for an escaped slave.
Or run away from the subscriber living near Upper Marlboro, Prince George County. Isn't this used to be what she was saying was like the Underground Railroad?
They suspected They don't have proof that it was what they suspect.
I mean, I don't think you guys can read that. It's pretty dark. I can't read it myself. This is like part of, you know, the darker age of slavery. Wow. It was so sad. He used to get beaten a lot. You guys want to pause and read it? Yeah. This building was made back in 1860 something, right? So this is what that building right there. This building here. That mill. Get the waterfalls right there. Wow, that's so cool. Little handcuffs back in the day. Wow, that's amazing. Their sword. I guess that's their horn over there. Look at the bullets. Look at that. Wow. Their guns, rifles. That one has a bayonet on it. Wow, that's crazy. Wow, that was awesome.
Yeah, I think we can go around this way, no?
Yeah, you can go this way too. Yeah, if you guys want to know more about it, about this place, I'll try to leave the link down in the description. They have it. Oh, here it is. Name. They even got that old light thing right there. The name right up there. Just go around the back. And that's the big wheel that the water turns when they just filled up here. This powered the generator, isn't it?
Probably good.
That's a big one. I know, right? Wow. That water has to get filled up really high so that can move. But for right now, Batricans, I'm gonna let you go. You have a blessed day. I hope you like this video. If you haven't yet, go ahead and like, subscribe, and share. For me, Batrican, and for my wife, Miss Batrican, we'll see you very soon. You have a blessed day. Later.